Good day, everyone. Today we are presenting on the topic of imitationism in art. Our group name is Hiraya Manawari. Next slide, please. Allow me to introduce the members of our group: Miss Pacomo, Miss Penaflor, Miss Cachuela, Miss Caduada, Miss Gabinete, Miss Calso, Miss Tokire, Miss Papo, yours truly, Miss Rintino, and Miss Rodriguez. Next slide po, please. To guide our questions, the discussion rather, below are the three key questions. First is to give example of a known artist and his or her artwork. So with this, we will present an artist whose work is renowned for its realistic depiction and discuss the details on one of their famous pieces. Next is to what extent does the artist and their art reflect the idea of imitationism. We will analyze how the chosen artist's work exemplifies the principles of imitationism, exploring the techniques and methods they use to replicate reality in their art. And lastly, how does imitationism influence Philippine culture? We will examine the impact of imitationism on Philippine culture, focusing on how artists incorporate realistic elements into their works and the cultural significance of this approach. To provide a comprehensive understanding, we will present two examples, allowing us to compare and contrast their approaches and effects. This comparison aims to highlight the different facets of the imitationisms and its influence on both and the global and local art scenes. So next slide, please. So what is imitationisms? Imitationism is a theory in art that believes art imitates life. So this means that artworks try to accurately resemble real-life objects, persons, events, and more. So the goal of these imitations is to evoke an aesthetic or artistic response in the observer. To elaborate, a work of art is considered an imitation of reality. For example, when an artist paints a table, they make a copy of a material table, which itself is already a copy of an immaterial form. So therefore, the artwork is a copy, making it two times removed from reality, and this can be seen as a form of deception. So we hope this introduction gives you a clear understanding of imitationisms. Now let's move on to our first guide questions and explore the concept further with specific examples. Thank you.
Okay, good morning everyone. So first we have here the American artist, Grant Wood. Grant Wood was inspired to paint what is now known as the American Gothic house in Eldon, Iowa, along with the kind of people he fancied should live in that house. It depicts a farmer standing beside his daughter, often mistakenly assumed to be his wife. In 2009, Grant was awarded the Lowell Prize, the state's highest citizen honor. So here's a picture po, makikita ninyo yung mukha ni Grant Wood and uh, self-portrait niya to noong 1932 at siya mismo yung gumawa ng artwork na yan. And next po, we have the artwork. Yung artwork niya na ito ay pinangalan ng American Gothic and ginawa siya noong 1930. So ito yung inspiration ni Grant Wood na gumawa siya ng American Gothic, which is yung picture po is nagre-represent sa kanyang sister na si Nan Wood and yung kanyang dentist, which is si Dr. Byron McCary. And yung woman po is nakadress in a colonial print apron evoking yung 20th century rural Americana, while the man is adorned in overalls, covered in a suit jacket, and carries a pitchfork. And yung background nila, which is yung cottage, ito yung Gothic Revival style, which an upper window sa shape ng medieval pointed arc. And next po, makikita natin sa next slide yung pinagkuwaan niya, which is yun yung totoo. Ayan. Ayan yung the real. So, ito po yung The Dibble House, Idlon, Lowa. And Yung nasa kabilang picture naman, ayan yung kanyang sister and yung dentist ng kanyang sister. So, makikita natin na meron talagang imitation sa ginawang artwork ni Grant Wood po dyan. Next slide po.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Shane Rodriguez. So, to tell you more about the idea of imitationism. So, to further elaborate yung imitationism ay klase ng art kung saan nagpo-focus siya to accurately depict yung real life. And yung aim niya ay para, syempre, from its word, imitationism, ma-imitate or ma-replicate kung ano man yung mga bagay or yung mga things dito sa mundo. So, ang perfect example ng isa sa mga perfect example ng imitationism ay ang Grant Wood's American Gothic. So, ito yung classic example ng style na to. So, this painting portrays a serious farmer and yung kanyang daughter wherein makakapture doon yung facial expressions nila, clothing, as well as the rural setting with great detail. So, yung farmer na may hawak na pitchfork, nagre-represent siya sa hardworking nature ng mga rural Americans, while yung daughter niya na nakadress ng traditional clothing nila ay nagsisymbolize ng value ng kanilang family as well as yung tradition ng rural American. And this realistic approach ay nag-emphasize ng pang-araw-araw na buhay and yung spirit na meron yung Midwest. Next slide po, please.
Okay, so good morning. To tell more about the idea of imitationism sa work po ni Grant Wood. So yung detailed style ng artwork, it reflects the Midwest during the Great Depression. So pinapakita nito na merong struggles and values that time. And yung figures naman against the farmhouse, sinasuggest nito is isolation and resilience. So kapag may isolation and resilience, na-emphasize din dito yung mga challenges or obstacles na kinakaharap ng rural communities. So overall, yung artwork niya is nagpapakita siya ng dignity of work, importance ng family, and yung enduring nature of tradition.
Okay, so good morning po again. So ano nga ba yung influence ng imitationism sa Philippine culture? So yung principles of imitationism in works like yung American Gothic painting can inspire Filipino artists to explore local themes and societal issues through realistic portrayals. So to make it short po, yung principles of imitationism influences Philippine culture by encouraging Filipino artists to adapt styles and techniques from famous works like American Gothic painting to portray local themes, which helps reflect and highlight yung cultural identity and social issues dito sa ating bansa. So, next slide po.
Okay po. In addition po sa sinabi po earlier in regards with the influence in Philippine culture, imitationism po can serve as a medium for artists to collaborate and exchange dialogue po, specifically po with their art techniques and interpretations. So together po, from one artist to another, they can create a collective cultural discourse, and in turn din po, pag halimbawa po may dalawang artist na nag-collab, for example, an American artist and Filipino artist, so the American artist will get additional input sa kanyang art at the same time yung Filipino din. So together po, they can blend traditional and modern influences, and at the same time, since si American artist has his own identity and yung Filipino artist din, so makakapag provide pa rin sila ng strong sense of local identity. So this would result po into a very vibrant artistic landscape. So this would not just celebrate heritage but also po invite critical engagement with current realities, since most paintings sa imitationism is nagre-reflect ng current social standing ng kanilang country. So ultimately po, it would showcase din po what each country is currently facing, or also known as contemporary global realities.
Let us discuss or focus on the Filipino Center. So the artist Benedicto Cabrera was born in Malabon, Philippines and studied at the University of the Philippines. Growing up, he won art competitions and was hired by the national paper as the Sunday illustrator. And he is considered a preeminent Filipino for his time with his work of mostly women wrapped in capes. Next slide po. Here we see one of his artworks called The Three Women. His artwork shows again three women wrapped in cloths and capes depicting realism and introspection. Often his works are seen as symbols of resilience and cultural heritage, and this particular work shows the women's strength, beauty, and complexity. Next slide po. This next slide shows a portrayal or imitation of the three women, showing again three women or three individuals bundled up in capes and cloth with the addition of accessories such as bags. Majority of the capes here that we see are done with digital painting. Next slide po.
Again, imitationism is when artists reflect life through their art. Katulad nitong Tree Woman ni Benedicto Cabrera, ito ay magandang example as he combines traditional Filipino elements with modern ideas, honoring our heritage while showing how culture can evolve. Yung artwork niya, pinapakita kung gaano kalakas or na may strength yung Filipino woman just as he using familiar symbols that connects us to our past. At the same time, it challenges us to think about how we grow and change as a people. Also, it blends with old and new in a way that feels both familiar and fresh, creating a dialogue between tradition and modernity.
So, in his piece, Three Women, Benedicto delves into themes of three things: femininity, identity, and cultural heritage. And his depiction of women reflects both strength and vulnerability, which embodies the complexities of Filipino culture. Um, Pabalik ko sa isang slide. Yan. And the woman he paints symbolizes resilience, which reflects their role within the society while remaining deeply human and relatable. In addition, Ben Cub's art blends traditional Filipino elements with modern techniques, and his use of bold colors um, and intricate detail creates emotional depth, drawing viewers into the lives of the subjects. And this work celebrates the multifaceted nature of womanhood in the Philippines, which captures their strength, grace, and enduring spirit. Okay, next slide po.
Good morning once again. For the influence in Philippine culture, sinasabi dito na yung mga ginawang art ni Cabrera is nakakatulong para ma-preserve yung identity ng mga Pilipino by reflecting doon sa mga cultural narratives and historical context. And also, this imitation po of traditional forms is tumutulong sa atin para mas ma-encourage tayo na mas maintindihan deeper yung kung ano ba talaga yung meaning ng maging Pilipino, particularly na sa globalized world natin. So, through this imitationism, gaya ng sabi kanina, di ba? So, itong si Cabrera is siya na mismo nag-initiate sa atin to convey a message about the evolution of the Filipino art. So, kung dati, yung pinaka-art talaga natin is kung saan mismo nanggaling yon. However, when it comes to new generation, meron na tayong tinatawag na modern art. So, this ability is help us to reinterpret the traditional themes na tumutulong sa atin ng mga contemporary audience para mas ma-appreciate and mas mag-engage tayo on with the cultural roots. Ibig sabihin kung saan ba mismo nanggaling yung art na yon. So by successfully merging this imitation with innovation plus the creativity of Cabrera, it is served as the model for the emerging artists. So yung approach na ginawa niya is nag-highlight or mismong nag-emphasize kung ano ba talaga yung kahalagahan ng cultural heritage in art. Kaya meron tayong mga museum um, iba't ibang parte ng Pilipinas. Bakit meron tayo nun is to inspire others to explore their identity through imitation and adaptation para makita natin kung saan ba mismo nanggaling yung art na yon and how can we differ the art from the original from the imitation we had nowadays in this generation. So that will be all. Once again, we are the group 4 and thank you for your listening.